In an attempt to add wireless charging capability to the Gameboy Advance SP, some sacrifices needed to be made. In order to fit the wireless charging module, a smaller battery had to be used. Even then, it wasn't a perfect fit. Trying to find the space in the SP has proven to be very difficult. So instead of trying to find space, we're going to make space. Introducing the Gameboy Advance SP expansion cover add-on. This kit provides the flexibility and space to easily add a larger capacity battery and a wireless charging module. And it looks and feels great. Let's take a closer look. Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Tito and welcome to another episode of Retro Renew. Today, I want to show you the next iteration of the wireless charging Gameboy Advance SP project. This next step creates the space needed to easily add the wireless charging module as well as a larger capacity battery. If you've seen my other episodes about adding wireless charging to the SP, you'll know that space is extremely limited in the already very compact console. If you're interested in adding wireless charging to the SP without affecting the overall appearance of the console, and don't mind using a slightly smaller battery, be sure to check out my episode by clicking on the card at the top of your screen or in the link in the description below. Now, before I move on, I want to start off by thanking my friend Kyle, who kindly reached out to offer his amazing 3D modeling skills. Through several meetings, we came up with this design. And by we, I primarily mean Kyle. So be sure to check him out at brinkeroff_systems on Instagram. So again, big thank you to Kyle for making this mod happen. Okay, so in this episode, I'm going to go over the items you'll need for this mod, how to install it, and if you're interested, how you can get one of your own. So let's start off with everything you'll need. To start, you'll of course need the expansion cover itself. This one is made of a material called sintered nylon, but we'll get into that a little later in the video. This expansion cover is what allows us to use a larger battery and easily install the wireless charging module. In addition, it adds some thickness to the Gameboy Advance SP base, which in my opinion feels more comfortable to hold. Next, you'll need these longer screws. Because the cover sits on top of the rear shell, these longer screws are needed in order to reach their corresponding screw posts. Also, please note that these are a different thread pitch from the original screws, however, they are less aggressive. These screws won't destroy the existing threads in your screw posts and will actually allow you to revert back to the original screws if you choose to remove this mod. Lastly, you'll need some foam with an adhesive backing. I'm using this foam gasket material that I had lying around the house. This is used to keep the battery from popping out of the compartment, but that'll become more clear when we install the expansion cover later in the video. And that's it. Those are the only items you'll need to install this mod. Now, the only tools you'll need is a screwdriver with a tri-point bit and a Phillips bit for the newer screws. And really, that's it. This is a very simple mod to do. I guarantee you guys won't have any trouble doing this. Now, do keep in mind this video will not go over the installation of the wireless charging module. If you want to see how to install the wireless charging module, check out my episode which goes over that process by clicking on the card at the top of your screen or in the link in the description below. Great, with that out of the way, let's install this cover onto this Gameboy Advance SP. To get started, let's first remove the battery cover. We won't be needing this again, so be sure to store it in a safe location in case you ever want to reverse this mod. Here you'll notice I have a modified battery using the Macho battery PCB. This was a thinner battery which I used to make space for the wireless charging module attached to the battery cover. Since this expansion kit creates more space for us to work with, I'll be using the original SP battery. The original SP battery has a slightly larger capacity than the one I was using for the previous mod. Great! With the battery cover removed, go ahead and remove the 4 tri-point screws from the rear shell housing. Adhere the wireless charging module to the expansion cover. I'm using a combination of double-sided tape and Kapton tape, ensuring to install the magnetic spacer on top. The magnetic spacer improves the wireless charging efficiency, so don't forget to put that in. Next, install a small piece of foam to the area of the expansion cover that will reside on top of the battery. This piece of foam will ensure that the battery will not become dislodged, causing the SP to lose power. And finally, place the cover on the rear of the SP and align it with the 4 screw holes and fasten it in place using the longer Phillips screws. And that's it, you have successfully installed the expansion cover on your Game Boy Advance SP. Now let's go over the pros and cons of this kit. I surprisingly like the aesthetics of this expansion. The lines and curves flow quite well with the rest of the console. To go the extra step, I would sand and smooth the surface and paint it to match the rest of the console. This would probably be more effective if you were to paint the entire SP shell in order to ensure everything matches perfectly. Another thing that I found surprising is that the added thickness this cover adds to the SP makes it more comfortable to hold. Of course, this probably depends on each person individually, but to me, I feel like I have a better grip. The other great thing is the ease of installation. There is no modding to the shell needed, and it simply installs with the longer screws, and that's it. Of course, one of the main benefits of this mod is the ability to use the original battery, or an aftermarket one with a larger capacity. The extra space provided easily allows for this. In addition, it works flawlessly with the wireless charging module. It also allows you to place the charging module nicely in the center of the console so you can easily place it on a wireless charger without making sure and worrying that it's aligned. And lastly, one of the greatest aspects of this mod is that it's completely reversible. Despite using different screws, since the threads are not super aggressive, the original screws will still work. Now, I wouldn't recommend constantly going between this mod and removing it, but let's say down the road you want to sell your SP, you can certainly remove the expansion cover and bring your Game Boy Advance SP back to its stock condition. Alright, now let's get into the cons. Well, the most obvious one is that it makes the SP a little bit thicker, 5mm thicker to be exact, making the SP just ever so slightly less portable. And lastly, it comes down to taste, whether or not you like the look of the expansion cover or not. Me, in my opinion, I actually think it looks pretty cool. So those are the pros and cons that I could think of after using it for the past few days. But I'm more interested in hearing what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you did like the expansion cover, Kyle has kindly published the STL files onto the Thingiverse for anyone who wants to print their own. And for those of you who don't have a 3D printer, you can upload the STL file to any website that provides 3D printing services. Kyle recommends using shapeways.com. That is the company I use to print my expansion cover, and I have to say the quality is outstanding and I'm very happy with the results. I put a link in the description below, which is already set up to order the expansion cover. So again, I just want to say thank you to Kyle for this amazing design. This is only the beginning and there will be plenty of other great mods coming in the pipeline. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Macho Nacho Productions. I release content every Thursday, so be sure to turn on notifications. And as always, we'll see you next time.